What happens when your self-care becomes your self-worth? Hair restoration, Brotox, jawline fillers, gym selfies, and breast reductions. Did you know that male breast reduction now accounts for 40% of U.S. breast reduction surgeries? The motive? It's not just aesthetics. It's dignity. 87.3% of surgical hair restoration procedures are performed on men, compared to just 12.7% of women. That's 9 out of 10 surgical hair procedures that are men. 70% of 35 to 55 aged men are undergoing Botox, fillers, eyelid surgery, and more. Is it health, fitness, or cosmetic confidence? Women are visual too. She'll notice your glow up. She'll notice your Brotox. And while she may not say it out loud, she's wondering, is this about stewardship or insecurity? And you're left wondering if you're allowed to care at all. Am I vain for noticing my face has changed? Is it wrong to care about how I show up? Do I need to choose between grooming and godliness? This episode isn't about a takedown. It's a clarifier, because not every procedure is a problem. Not every upgrade is idol worship. And not every man who invests in his appearance is insecure. But we do need to talk about the line between healing and hiding, between confidence and counterfeit pressure. Let's turn the tables. What do you notice about a woman's self-care? The hair extensions, lashes that touch the sky, a gel manicure that make her nail look nice, the breasts that defy gravity, and lips that look like more than just lip gloss. Is this cosmetic confidence? Right. This isn't about her. It's about you. You get a fresh hairline, a smooth forehead, your jawline is sharper than a double-edged sword. Will she notice? Maybe. The only question is, did it make you more Romans 12 verse 2 says, "Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind." You can change your face, sculpt your body, and filter your photos. But if your mind is still conformed to the pattern of this world, you'll always feel behind. The real transformation, it didn't start with needles or gym routines. It starts with renewing your mind. Because when the world tells you to upgrade everything, God's asking, what if you renewed what actually drives you first? Mirror ministry. What you see shapes what you steward. Stewardship isn't just about money. It's also about your mirror. You get a fresh hairline, a smooth forehead, and your jawline is sharper than a double-edged sword. The only question is, did it make you more attractive or more insecure? The mirror doesn't lie, but it also doesn't tell the whole truth. The truth is, most men either avoid the mirror out of pain or overuse it out of pressure. The mirror was never meant to expose you. It was meant to invite you to stop, reflect, and steward the image God entrusted you with. Mirror ministry isn't about vanity. It's about vision, about aligning your eyes with how God sees you so that you can show up with clarity, not confusion. When you agree with heaven's opinion, you stop shrinking, you stop striving, and you stop shaming. You don't have to worship your reflection, but you also don't have to avoid it in shame. The mirror isn't the enemy. It's a tool, a test, and sometimes a trigger. The enemy would love nothing more than for a man of God to hate his own face. Because if you start there, he can hijack your voice, your posture, and your leadership. 2 Corinthians 3 verse 18 says, "But we all, with unveiled face, beholding as in a mirror the glory of the Lord, are being transformed into the same image from glory to glory, just as by the Spirit of the Lord. Translation: when we look in the mirror and behold God's glory, we start becoming like Him. But when we look in the mirror and only behold our insecurities, we start becoming like them too. What you behold is what you become. If you behold your flaws, you'll become fixated. If you behold your past, you'll become paralyzed. And if you behold the glory of God, you'll be transformed into something bigger than you ever imagined. The problem isn't the mirror. It's who you're agreeing with when you look. Because what you see shapes what you steward. The mirror isn't just about you. God doesn't just care that you changed something. He cares why. Because the moment you begin changing yourself to be seen is the moment you stop living to be sent. A few years ago, I joined my first mastermind for entrepreneurs, Kingdom Entrepreneurs. When the world broke, the Lord gave me incredible clarity about what would be next. I immediately knew I had to transition all of my existing skill sets into the digital landscape. That was my one thing. That was the single overarching theme of that season. Masterminds cost about as much as a college education, but you can get what you need to know in 6 months or less. And if you invest right, you can get a master's degree in 15 minutes just from getting in the room with people who think on multi-levels above your existing mindset. I not only got certified by my coach, but I learned his system so thoroughly that I was invited to join his team to coach others in his proprietary system for business owners. Maybe this is your story too. I went from 0 Zoom meetings to daily Zoom meetings, and I learned to moderate groups that maxed out Zoom capacities, hundreds on a single call, with multiple pages of Zoom video on faces. One strategy call stands out when I was meeting with one of my virtual buddies who had similar corporate burnout experience. He and his wife were embarking on their first entrepreneurial endeavor. On one call, I noticed his fresh new haircut, which looked incredible and literally took 10 years off of him. He looked fresh and youthful. I would not have noticed, but he mentioned it. He shared that he had undergone hair transplant surgery, and part of that process was to shorten the hair in the donor areas, then transplant them into the recipient area. This meant that his own hair would grow as naturally as ever without any external interventions. Aside from the modern intervention, over the course of several months, I noticed something during our large Zoom calls. My buddy intermittently touched his head, patting around the top and the circumference of his head. I realized then just how significant that event was in his life and confidence. I was happy for him to experience his restored, youthful appearance. He was the same stellar human, just with more natural hair growth, or modern invention assisted natural hair growth. Have you experienced the satisfaction of cosmetic confidence? Maybe you had crooked teeth or a misaligned jawline and endured wearing oral braces for 12 to 36 months to correct your jaw and teeth alignment. Maybe you had bad acne that dug straight into your self-confidence, so you endured powerful chemical interventions at great risk to your health just to experience the relief that clear skin brings. Maybe you opted for elective laser resurfacing treatments to gain relief and satisfaction. Many choose elective cosmetic procedures, not necessarily for vanity, but for peace. And maybe for the first time in decades, you can look into mirrors and like the image staring back at you. Mirror ministry isn't about vanity. It's about vision, about aligning your eyes to how God sees you so that you can show up with clarity, not confusion. What you see shapes what you steward and how you steward. So what if the real problem isn't what you see, but what you agree with when you see it? Because every man has an inner mirror too. And most of the time, it's not showing a face, it's showing a flaw. But here's the dangerous part. The enemy knows if he can hijack what you behold, he can distort who you become. And if you keep agreeing with his version of you, you'll try to fix things that God never called broken. You'll start chasing validation instead of walking in vision. You'll try to repair something God is ready to redeem. So the question is, are you grooming for confidence or are you grasping for control? Cosmetic surgery. This segment asks not if cosmetic surgery is wrong, but whether it's rooted in godly stewardship or insecure striving. Because it's not just about the procedure, it's about the posture behind it. A 2024 article in Springer Nature uses these definitions. I'll share the link in the description. Plastic surgery and cosmetic surgery are two closely related branches of medical procedures aimed at improving or restoring the appearance or function of the body. Plastic surgery primarily focuses on reconstructing or repairing defects in the body resulting from birth disorders, trauma, burns, or disease. This goal is to restore normal function and appearance, while cosmetic surgery, on the other hand, is a subset of plastic surgery that specifically deals with enhancing a person's appearance by altering or reshaping the body's features. It is typically performed on patients with no underlying medical issue, and the primary motivation is aesthetic improvement. Allow me to present two case studies. Man number one undergoes hair transplant surgery after years of emotional bullying from college dorm buddies, who all donned full heads of hair in their 20s. Their seemingly harmless pokes at his locks, or lack thereof, cut deeper than anyone thought. His hairline transformation was about his self-esteem. He no longer avoids social events. He no longer wears hats indoors. For him, it's not about looking younger, it's about showing up present and focused without the internally motivated distractions. No more finger comb-overs to hide spots that unfavorable lighting might highlight. Man number two started with Brotox, then a jawline sculpt, then pectoral implant. He never feels done. His social media glow-ups get applause, but his soul is in a slow spiral, needing greater affirmation, acknowledgement, and recognition on drip. He can't quite enjoy his new improvements because he's still operating from lack. His focus is on external validation instead of satisfaction in self-acceptance. Both men deploy remedies of modern intervention, but two very different motives. One is on track to greater freedom and appreciation, while the other grows more obsessive and enslaved. Cosmetic confidence versus cosmetic compulsion. Both bear fruit. One fruit is delicious and bears more good fruit year after year. The other fruit is bitter and grows more bitter as the years progress. Just this week, I worked with a client recovering from her mommy makeover. After 3 back-to-back babies, most would say good for her for taking her health and recovery seriously and restoring what the years of baby bearing has done to her once youthful body. Other friends openly and very proudly announced their breast augmentations and brand new bra cup size. It's not only obvious, but it's proudly displayed in new apparel that positions and enhances them perfectly. But this isn't about her. It's about you. What you modify externally can reveal what you believe internally. If the enemy can hijack what you behold, he can distort who you become. Let me walk you through these 2 columns. On one side, stewardship mindset. This man says, I want to feel whole in my own skin. He uses tools to restore confidence, not earn approval. He's aligned with peace and anchored in identity. Now contrast that with insecurity spiral. This man says, I won't be happy until I fix this. He keeps going under the knife or into the gym, not for clarity, but comparison. He's chasing validation, and no matter how much he changes, he still feels like more is required. Galatians 1 verse 10 says, "Am I now trying to win the approval of human beings or of God?" This verse reframes the mirror. Who are you getting ready for? So, is it sin? Is cosmetic confidence sin? That depends on who's in the mirror with you. Because the same procedure done from a place of peace can be stewardship, but the same procedure done to please people or punish yourself can become a counterfeit gospel. The question isn't just about what you changed, it's who you were trying to become and who you were hoping would notice. Is it sin or stewardship? It isn't always about what you do, it's about why you're doing it. The double standard. The mirror isn't just about you. God doesn't just care that you changed something. He cares why. Because the moment you begin changing yourself to be seen is the moment you stop living to be seen. Why are women allowed to enhance, but men get judged? How does she interpret when he has a glow up? Cosmetic work makes women feel confident. Cosmetic work makes men look suspicious. Same tool, different judgments. Let's just say it. She gets a glow up, her group chat erupts in revival. You get a glow up, your barber squints at your forehead and goes, "Yo, you doing something different?" When she invests in her appearance, we call it empowerment. When he does it, we call it midlife crisis. But here's the reality. Men are getting work done, and it's not just the Hollywood types. Hair restoration, chest contouring, chin implants, liposuction, Brotox, and even fillers. And for most of these men, it's not about looking 25 again. It's about finally feeling normal walking into a room without insecurity barking at your feet. Gynecomastia Correction. He didn't tell anyone at first. He just wanted to wear a fitted shirt to the gym without shame. Teen Vogue cites the 2016 American Society for Plastic Surgeons press release about gynecomastia correction, also known as male breast reduction, that now accounts for 40% of U.S. breast reduction surgeries. 40%. The motive? It's not just aesthetics, it's dignity. Brotox and fillers for function, not fantasy. A 50-something executive began getting fillers not to rewind the clock, but to show up better on Zoom meetings. He felt his tired look was sending the wrong message. According to the Times, clinics report a 70% rise in male cosmetic bookings, with 1 in 5 appointments being male patients. The hair transplant guy, he wasn't trying to impress women. He was just tired of ducking out of photos and praying the lighting hit just right on his scalp. Gynecomastia surgery guy, he didn't tell anyone. Just quietly booked the surgery and bought his first fitted t-shirt in 7 years. Not because he wanted attention, but because he wanted to stop hiding under hoodies in August. Brotox guy, he's 53. He started looking mad on Zoom calls when he was actually fine. He got Botox so he could stop being asked, "Are you okay?" at 8 a.m. every Monday. John Eldridge in Wild at Heart writes, "Every man longs for a battle to fight, an adventure to live, and a beauty to rescue." But here's the plot twist. What if today's battle includes fighting back against shame about how you look? And what if some of us are just trying to win back our sense of being desirable and doing it with a surgeon's scalpel? Because what you modify externally can reveal what you believe internally. I'll ask you again, is cosmetic confidence sin or stewardship? The answer, yes. Many will choose elective cosmetic procedures, not for vanity, but for peace. And maybe for the first time in decades, you can look into mirrors and like the image staring back at you. Because mirror ministry isn't just about vanity. It's about vision, about aligning your eyes with how God sees you so that you can show up with clarity, not confusion. Let's examine the societal tension. What's normal for her still feels shameful for him. Her enhancements speak, get it, girl, empowerment. It's culturally normalized and celebrated on Instagram. His enhancements speak, are you okay? It's overcompensation. He's socially side-eyed, roasted in the group chat. James 2 verse 1 says, my brothers, show no partiality as you hold the faith in our Lord Jesus Christ, the Lord of glory. So before you book that next partiality appointment, ask yourself, is this restoration or reaction? Is it healing or performance? Is it ministry of the body or just a myth of manhood? Because you don't need to look like an Instagram filter to show up with kingdom confidence. If what you modify externally can reveal what you believe internally, the reverse is true. What you believe internally can reveal what you modify externally. One works to reveal the other. Your self-care can become your self-worth. There will be sign, and it's usually wearing a tight something. Are you in the camp of cosmetic confidence or the camp of cosmetic compulsion? Let's use the copywriting framework PASS: problem, agitation, solution. Your problem isn't the mirror. Your problem is who you're agreeing with when you look. You're not sure if caring about your looks is confidence or compromise. You've made upgrades, but you're still low-key wondering, was that even me or pressure? You felt judged by other men and confused by what women think. You're craving peace, but stuck between grooming and guilt. Your agitation? You scroll past men who look sharper than you and feel behind. You show up in the mirror hoping to see progress, but it still doesn't feel like you. You've started doing things you once mocked or never thought you would want to do. You're not chasing attention, but you're terrified of being overlooked. And the worst part, nobody's talking about it. You're making silent changes for people who may never say a word. Or worse, they'll notice and just silently downgrade your masculinity in their mind. Your solution? You're allowed to care, but God wants to renew your motive before or instead of renewing your face and or body. Cosmetic changes are the enemy, but comparison is a liar. There's a difference between stewarding your temple and sculpting an idol. When your identity is anchored in Christ, your choices become wise, not reactive. Start by asking, am I hiding or healing? Am I performing or preparing for purpose? Because here's the reality. Self-care doesn't have to be self-worship. And looking good doesn't have to mean you've lost your grounding, but you do need to renew your mind before you make your next move. Romans 12 verse 2 says, do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Your appearance can either become a prison or a platform for purpose. What's your take on cosmetic confidence? Is it sin or stewardship? I'll meet you in the comments. To hear why a little ugly might be the most attractive thing about you and how to stop disqualifying yourself based on lies you've rehearsed for years. You don't need a filter. You need to hear this. Watch this episode next. She wants You're ugly. Why godly women aren't looking for a perfect man. Now remember, you're not single by accident. Your singleness is not happening to you. It's happening for you.